Welcome to the Fuzzy Loaf podcast, where do I say geeks or dorks usually?
I don't know.
Whatever. Talk about the week's happenings in pop culture and nerd stuff or whatever. I should introduce myself. I'm Scott. With me as always is Matt.
Hey.
Sorry, I'm just not even paying attention today. It's just like the worst intro I've ever done. Fuck it. Let's just get right into it.
Yeah.
So today there's like not a lot of real news this week. So we decided to talk about, I mean, it's not fake news, but like just like stories and like kind of what we think about stuff that's been going on and like in general, not just like news story broke, this is like big overarching topics and stuff.
Yeah.
So first I'd like to talk about, spoilers and toys. If you've seen recently, this is gonna be like mild spoilers, I guess. If you don't want to hear anything, skip ahead.
Some of them could be, but it doesn't necessarily mean because there's a toy about it that it will be this way. But there's a good chance that these toys are direct spoilers for the movies.
Yeah, at least for one of them. So take it all with a grain of salt. Anyway, we're gonna start with the Man of Steel or Batman v Superman spoiler. I guess I don't know why I stuck on
Dawn of Justice. Because it was supposed to be, it was billed as Man of Steel 2 until Comic-Con when they revealed it was Batman.
Until Comic-Con of the same year Man of Steel came out.
Yeah.
Right. So, if you don't know, there's a toy that's going out. It's like a toy pack. It's got Batman and Superman. And then it shows Lex Luthor's armor, his purple and green armor. And people are saying that's a spoiler for the movie. Does that mean Lex Luthor's going to be in the armor in the movie? So I don't know. I don't really think it's a spoiler.
I don't think so either, but I also don't. I get that there's a lot of adults who are into action figures and they want the hype of this toy is coming out, I'm going to buy it. But there also doesn't need to be that much lead time. Like if the toy is coming out in 4 months or coming out the day of the movie or a couple weeks before the movie, then why are they hyping it so far in advance? This is my only thing.
It's to remind people, like, hey, don't forget the movie's coming out. So when you're walking through the toy store and you see the Batman, Superman toys, you're like, oh, that's right, that movie's coming out.
But what I'm saying is, why are they showing it off online now? Because that's where they're not.
It's leaking online.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah, people are leaking the images and stuff.
Okay.
They're not like promoting it online. Like this Batman v Superman one, I saw months ago, so it's not really that new.
Yeah. Well, and to me, this kind of falls into the same territory of, I'm not going to say any of the ideas about it, but like post Star Wars Episode 7, now people are coming up with all these theories and digging into things and looking for like, who's Rey, who are Rey's parents, what's like the origin of Snoke and all this stuff. So like if you figure it out for yourself, if you go digging for it and find it, then it's not, they didn't spoil it for you. You spoiled it for yourself. The same thing is happening for people in this instance. I get that news outlets now are posting these images and they might be spoiling it for you, but the toy companies themselves weren't putting these images out saying, hey, look at the new Lex Luthor armor suit. Come buy it. Like, they didn't do that to you. So I don't think people should be mad at the toy makers for that.
I don't know. If it's just a toy of it, like, it's not giving away super plot points. Maybe the next one we're going to talk about might give away a plot point, but I think most people that follow some of these movies can just assume a lot of this is going to happen already. So, the Batman, or not the Batman.
The Batman.
Captain America.
Yeah.
Civil War spoiler we're going to talk about. So this one might actually be considered a real spoiler if you're...
We all kind of figured, or at least I figured that this was going to happen.
I did too. Most people who are Marvel fans
especially because... I guess we might as well just get into it. And then
so, straight up, there's a Funko Pop figure of Giant Man. And the only way you can tell it's Giant Man is because it says Giant Man.
It's labeled Giant.
Because he looks just like Ant-Man, except he's supposed to be bigger.
Yeah. There's also a Lego set.
A Lego set with a Giant Man figure, sorry.
Playing footsie.
Ugh.
But there's also been, even before that, there was leaked script stuff from like Heroic Hollywood that claimed that they had been told by people that were working on the set that there will be Giant Man.
Oh, was there?
Yeah.
I just assumed
this was months and months
I just
ago.
figured if you're gonna have Ant-Man in there, there would just be and it's probably going to be like a scene, you know? And to people that don't really know much about, because the people that are going to be really surprised by this are the people that don't even know about the spoilers because they're not following the movie. They're not paying attention.
Well, and there are people that don't really know Ant-Man. Like,
right. They don't. They're like, Ant-Man, Giant Man. They don't even know they're the same person. They don't even know who Giant Man is.
Yeah, I was going to say, the chances are they don't know who Giant Man is, and they probably don't
and
know
that's
anything
a
about
lot of people. So the spoilers really for like the hardcore nerds like us but who it's really not really even a spoiler because we figured it was going to happen anyway.
Well, we also had a talk of after the movie came out, after Ant-Man came out, you know, everybody was asking, where's Giant Man? Like, why didn't he grow bigger? And, you know, like Kevin Feige and everybody involved would say, you know, we're working on, like, you'll see it in the future. You know what I mean? That was basically what they said.
Yeah.
So, not really a spoiler to me.
And it's probably going to be a scene where, like, he doesn't even know he can go giant. He just does it. And that's, like...
I don't know if you want to know any more details about it.
Oh, you know more details?
From the leaked script stuff.
Tell me. I don't care.
It's the German airport scene where you see all them fighting with Black Panther.
Oh, that's a German airport?
That's a German airport.
Oh.
I think, at least, if I remember correctly from the script.
Oh.
That's the scene where he goes bigger.
Oh, cool. So he just knows. He's just like, going big.
Yeah, I guess so. Like, I don't know if that's something they've developed or...
I don't know. It's probably an early draft of the script, too. Who knows? They could have...
Yeah, there's tons of stuff
those
that could have
scripts
changed,
always get changed later on. That's cool. I just want to see it. That's not the... See, like, the plot point for, like, a lot of these Marvel movies, because you kind of know what's going to happen.
It's based on the comics. It's based on the characters' history.
Right.
Or the history of the characters.
So you can, you know, make it's different than Star Wars where you don't know what the fuck's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's like you've got back material. You kind of know.
Even with Star Wars, you know, there's a big chance that they're going to borrow a lot from the extended universe, even if whatever they call it. Is that extended?
It's Legends
expanded
now.
Universe? Yeah, whatever they call it. Because like even the idea of Kylo Ren is kind of borrowed from Jason Solo.
He is Jason Solo, pretty much.
Yeah, they just changed the name.
Yeah.
Oh man, after seeing the movie a second time, I've got so many different ideas? For stuff. But we'll
talk about that later.
We'll talk about that after.
But yes, so like him becoming Giant Man thing it's more like I just want to see it. Mm-hmm. I don't really care, like, you know, like you can tell me how he does it, but I need to be able to see it, and that's where the magic's going to be.
Yeah.
You know, just like Vision. I knew Vision was going to be in Age of Ultron. It was seeing him that was awesome.
Yeah.
You know? So.
No, I completely agree with all of that. I don't know. I don't think it's that big of a deal. But then on the opposite end of the spectrum, if we want to move on to the next topic, or was there more that you wanted to talk about with this?
No, I think that's about it.
Okay.
There was it was just going around to this past week again, and I thought, well, let's talk about it a little bit, you know. Because I buy a lot of toys.
Yeah.
I mean, not a lot of toys, but
some
whatever.
At least.
More than the average adult male should.
On the opposite end of the spectrum, we have the lack of Rey.
Yeah, and
a lot of, I think it was specifically what people were upset about was Mattel's Star Wars monopoly. Hasbro's Star Wars monopoly. That's what it was.
Yeah. No, she's the main character in the movie, and there's no figure of her.
And the reason they said is we wanted to avoid spoilers, and we didn't.
But we knew she was the main character. That's not a spoiler.
Here's the thing that drives me nuts about this. We wanted to avoid spoilers. We didn't want people to know that she was a Jedi. Why did they made Finn one of the main characters, and Finn is not a Jedi. And I get that, like, maybe they were leading people on, but they could have just made her...
With the staff. We didn't know she was a Jedi. I have an action figure of Rey I got on Force Friday in September. She has no lightsaber. And then the other thing She's just got her staff.
The other thing that upset people was... So there's 4 characters. 2 light characters, 2 dark side characters. There's Luke, Finn for the light side, then Kylo Ren and Vader for the dark side. Vader wasn't even in the movie.
And Luke's in it for like a minute and a half.
Yeah.
If that, like basically 20 seconds.
Like they could have, to avoid this whole thing, they could have done like... Rey and Finn, or Rey and Poe, which I would have assumed Rey and Finn.
Rey and Finn would make more sense.
And then do
Kylo Ren and Captain Phasma.
Yeah, that'd be a good. Yeah, exactly. And it's like we don't have saying dark side does not imply in most people's mind they're not going to be like, oh my god, Captain Phasma's a Sith. You know what I mean? It's like you can be a good character or a bad character, regardless of being force sensitive or not.
Right. It's because Finn's not force sensitive. He's not a Jedi, so
we don't know that he's force sensitive.
Well, I mean, but
there's a good chance that he's not.
Right, but from what we've gathered from the movie, you know, all the stuff with him with the lightsaber, that was a
misdirection.
Misdirect. So there's that on top of all of, there's a severe lack of Rey action figures.
Well, and it's not just that. I mean, it extends back to even Age of Ultron with Black Widow. This was a huge topic that came up. There was scenes where Black Widow was the star of the scene doing the action.
And they replaced her with Captain America. Like the scene with her on the motorcycle, they put Cap on the motorcycle.
Which I think is stupid because their reasoning, which is even more insane to me, is that it's mostly young males buying these toys, but it's young males that are even if it was mostly young males who want these toys and are going to play with these toys, they have seen the movie, they know who's in the scene.
They can't recreate the scene then if they want to, or whatever.
It's just they're not going to be oh my god, this toy has a girl, I don't want to play with it.
No,
in fact, they probably like it even more if it has a girl.
And you know what, if you can't, it's because you got these old guys running these companies that don't understand the modern era. You know what I mean?
They're so narrow-minded because I'm sure there are plenty of young girls that would love to play with these toys. And once again,
and a boy's not going to care.
Yeah, regardless of gender of the child, they're not going to be oh, this has a male figure, I'm not going to play with it, or oh, this has a girl figure, I'm not going to play with it.
Right? They're not going to care. They just want it as long as it's a cool figure.
Yeah, and it plays into what actually happened in the movie.
Right, and I was I didn't even realize. At first, I didn't realize the lack of Rey stuff because I bought my Star Wars figures on Force Friday, the day they came out.
Yeah.
Because I'm that kind of person. And I got the Rey action figure, the Black Series one. And you can't find it now. It's impossible. There's tons of Finns and all that stuff. But, it's because there's so little Reys that if you go online now, they're asking a ton for her.
Yeah. Do you think... And I don't know anything about this because I don't know the relationship between the toy companies and Disney or Lucas. I guess it's technically LucasArts or George Lucas that owns the rights to the action figures still, I believe. He still owns merchandising rights.
He I think Disney's in control of all that stuff, but I'm sure he still gets residuals.
Yeah, residuals. Okay. But regardless, is it perhaps that what they knew about the movie, they didn't know that Rey was a main character? Because honestly, seeing the trailers, we kind of
knew she was a main character.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
That's not really an excuse. There's tons of Finn stuff.
Yeah, well, why would you want, in the trailer there was a lot more.
Why would
Finn
you want
to
hide the main character? We knew she was a main character, right? What we didn't know was that she's Force sensitive or a Jedi or whatever.
Yeah,
we didn't know that, but we knew she was a main character based off everything. So you have toys of her, you just don't reveal the Jedi part. It's really that simple.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. I'm trying to think of if there is any logical reason, but it doesn't seem like there is.
It just seems stupid. They just don't realize. They don't realize that girls do buy this stuff. And they will buy this stuff.
Always, like we've said, it's a character in the movie.
They want the character in the movie. They don't care what gender it is.
Yeah.
People are so stuck on genderizing everything. And it's just dumb. There's no reason for it.
Yeah. I think if it happens in the movie, then kids will buy it.
Right.
There's
an action figure of Constable whatever who I don't even know never even remember seeing in the movie. But it's so hard to find a Rey figure.
There's also stuff that got cut from the script that they have action figures and Lego sets for.
Yeah.
There's a scene. This isn't like a spoiler or anything, but there's a scene that got cut where Rey and Finn were on snow speeders on Starkiller Base, and that whole scene got cut. But there's still toys and Lego sets of it.
Right.
So it's if that stuff's in there, then. Why isn't Rey in there?
It's all just boils down to it's dumb.
Yeah.
And it's these out of touch people running these companies making these same bad decisions, you know. And I don't want to hate on Hasbro because they put out good stuff.
Yeah.
But it's just dumb decisions like this. If someone sees themselves in a character, they're gonna want to buy that figure, it's the same kind of thing as we don't make figures of black characters because they just they don't sell. Well, you got to make them. If some kid sees himself in Falcon or whatever, he's gonna want to get a Falcon figure. You know, it's like it just doesn't make sense. I've seen so many posts online of young girls inspired and in love with Rey. Mm-hmm. They'll buy these figures. Like, trust me, they will get them.
Yeah.
Or they'll buy Rey stuff or anything, you know, whatever. Mm-hmm. So it just doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
But Hasbro did announce that they will be releasing.
Yeah, but it's kind of like
too little, too late.
Yeah, exactly. Up. Yeah. Right. I mean, shit. Even J.J. Abrams, he was at the TCA, the Television Critics Awards, and he even said, like, it's like preposterous and wrong that Hasbro didn't include Rey, and like that they kind of excluded her from a lot of their merchandising stuff. And it's like we said, I have no idea if this was influence from Disney or the film studio, or if this was like lack of information back and forth, or if this was just kind of them with their marketing department sitting there going, yeah, we can't really market girl toys, so whatever, we'll just skip them.
Yeah.
But then we also have Paul Feig tweeted out a picture a couple of days ago, or maybe it was he tweeted out a picture a couple of days ago of the 6-inch prototypes for their Ghostbusters toys.
Oh yeah, those are
4
tight.
Females. One of them is even black,
and they're gonna sell because I'm gonna buy them. Holy shit! I'm getting a Leslie Jones action figure, and she is going right on my shelf next to Superman.
Yeah, but it's one of those things. Is this a special case because it's a movie that's focused on 4 females as the lead? You know,
so they don't have a choice.
Yeah, it's like you.
So is that the option?
Yeah,
make everyone a woman, then they have to have a choice.
But it's like, I hope
no. There would be a lot. It would be the Ghostbusters, and it'd be they're all women, but the only action figure would be the Chris Hemsworth secretary figure.
Yeah.
The women toys don't sell. What? Doesn't make.
Yeah.
That's the kind of thing we would see. That kind of bullshit.
But, yeah, and I'm sure maybe there's probably historical evidence to prove that female toys didn't sell, but that was back when gender roles were like more rigid and people were afraid of breaking them. And I mean, people still kind of are now, but it's getting less and less with every generation.
We're realizing, oh, that's really stupid.
Yeah, it's dumb.
Yeah. Girl wants to play with or dress up and play with Iron Man. She can. Who cares?
Yeah.
If a guy wants to be Black Widow or play as whomever else, go for it. It doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. Nobody cares.
Especially when they're toys. Like, of all things, it's a toy. Like, playing with a toy that is a female does not mean anything.
No.
It's dumb.
It's all it is. It's dumb.
Yeah.
In conclusion, it's dumb. So, you had a few other things, like actual like news topics you want to talk about this week?
Sure.
Do you want to bring those up at all?
Yeah. So let me bring up the first one. ABC announced that they are ordering a pilot for Marvel's Most Wanted, which is a spinoff from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and will include Mockingbird and Hunter. So this has been talked about for a really long time.
Like a year almost.
It was going to be picked up by somebody else, and then they decided not to pick it up.
I thought it was going to be ABC still.
I thought it was somebody else was talking about picking it up and then didn't. And I think that's why they didn't, was because then it would be kind of cross-network, same characters. But then, so all we know is that they're picking up the pilot. We don't know if this is going to be a full season, if it's going to be a half season.
Well, they ordered a pilot, so we might not even go.
Yeah, exactly. We may never even see this pilot come to light.
Yeah.
Supposedly, this is taking place alongside Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and not like a prequel.
Okay. So what are your thoughts on it? Because I personally I don't really even want this show because I like the characters on S.H.I.E.L.D. as they
supposedly
are.
They'll stay in S.H.I.E.L.D. as well, and this is
like
where it gets
too much.
That's where it gets weird. It could be cool
if it's a summer show. Say like you have S.H.I.E.L.D. in the fall and spring. Mm-hmm. You've got Agent Carter in the winter, and then you have Marvel's Most Wanted in the summer. Then I could kind of get behind.
I would like this show if this was like. If they were going to make it kind of like TVMA.
Well, you can't do that on ABC.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. Is like if it was slightly more adult and dealt with more of like the violence and the espionage and like that kind of stuff. Because while there is a lot of violence in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., it's
you
kind of...
prefer it being on Netflix.
Yeah, I'd prefer it to be like a Netflix show where it can be darker and tell these stories that, you know, seem like they fit more with the character. I don't want like campy, whatever. Like S.H.I.E.L.D. can sometimes be campy, but that works for S.H.I.E.L.D.
You don't want the network TV spy show. You want the
if they're going to do a spy show, I want it to be a real spy show.
Right.
And it can still be funny and still be lighthearted, but it's like, I feel like if it's just more Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., we don't need that.
Right.
We're already getting enough of that.
Right.
And then the other bit of news was, I think this was on Entertainment Weekly, but let me double check. Jesse Eisenberg did an interview and talked about why he was playing the character the way he was for Lex Luthor. He's playing Lex Luthor in Batman v Superman. And he said that a lot of great actors have played the character before him, and he wanted to do a drastically different version.
Yeah.
And he said, I want it to be a memorable role for me and all this other stuff. And it's like...
It's definitely memorable.
Well, yeah. It was LA Times.
Because I don't have a lot of people have problems with Jesse Eisenberg. I don't. I think he's a good actor.
I think he could have done this role perfectly.
He could have done it really well. We don't know. We haven't seen the movie yet, so we can't. I don't want to judge too harshly. It's just you and I don't really like anything we've seen from the movie so far.
Yeah, I'm kind of turned off by it completely.
So it kind of, we were just kind of in like, I don't want to be like crap on it mode, but you know, it's just like, it just doesn't look that, like we're still going to see it, but like if it, depending on how this one is, will, you know, determine how I move forward with these WB movies.
Yeah. And then he did also mention in the article that he will, in the movie, lose his hair.
Well, we saw a picture of it already.
Yeah, but we haven't seen any footage of him.
I don't know why everyone's freaking out about that. You know, because Gene Hackman had hair in the first Superman movie.
Yeah, I think the reason why it bugs people the most, or maybe this is me projecting myself on other people, is we see this like wacky portrayal of him, almost as if he was like a Joker type character, and then he's got like wacky hair. It'd be one thing if he had like, you know, he's supposed to be like a rich, intelligent person. If he had like, if he looked like, you know, his hair was trimmed, he looked like suit and tie and like prim and proper and all this stuff, then I don't think it would be as big of an issue. But it's the fact that he looks like he's a psychotic person.
Right. I'd rather see him as like a put together asshole, like than like a wacky asshole.
Yeah, and that's exactly what it is. Is Lex Luthor? What makes him at least most exciting to me is that he thinks he's the hero of his own story. And there's moments where, when, at least for me, reading these comics that he's in, I agree with him at some points. You know, he may take actions that I don't agree with, and there's a lot of times that he goes over the edge. But for the most part, what he sees himself as the hero of his own story, not like as being a psychotic person. Yeah, he's not like, I like the Lex Luthor from the Justice League. He's very well put together, always in a suit, very like, you know, mostly calm and menacing, not like the wacky over the top. Like, yeah, and we've only seen whatever 2 or 3 clips of him as Lex Luthor, but to me, the scene where he's like, you know, when he's introducing Bruce Wayne and
Clark Kent,
yeah. That scene, he just like comes off as like absolutely fucking crazy.
Yeah, this movie, man, I don't know. It's really got me like just torn, because I'd want to see a cool Justice League, Batman, Superman movie, whatever. But to say it just doesn't look like it.
Yeah,
like there was a TV spot of where like Batman hits Superman with the Batmobile, and literally the Batmobile just bounces off of him. And like the first time I saw it online, I couldn't make out what the hell was happening because it was so dark. I was like, can't we have one fucking shot in the daytime?
Yeah. Well, and that goes a lot with the character of Batman, and their portrayal of him is that it's always as dark as possible. Like even in the Christopher Nolan Batman trilogy, it was dark almost perpetually. But they did slightly better with the coloring of the movies and using it was nighttime, but they would do different techniques to make it so you could actually see what was going on. It wasn't just pitch black.
I can't see anything that's going on in this movie, in the stuff. And it's like, I don't know. It's just, to me, it comes down to like Warner Brothers doesn't have faith in these characters, and Zack Snyder doesn't know how to do Superman.
Yeah.
That's all it. Yeah. So I'm bracing myself for disappointment.
Yeah. Which is sad.
But we'll see. Because Man of Steel, I was so excited for, because I love Superman. I was like, I even liked the trailers. I was like, sweet, yeah, cool. And then I saw the movie and I was like, this is awful. I hated it. Hated it.
Well, that's it for the topics. There is one thing I wanted to bring up. This is
Go for it.
Star Wars speculation for Rogue One, based off of.
Is this your theory or is this
no? This is some stuff that has been leaked online.
Oh, the rumor of Mads Mikkelsen.
Yep.
Okay.
So if you don't want any spoilers for Rogue One, although kind of hard to spoil a movie that takes place prior to the current set of movies.
Yeah.
There's mild stuff that can be spoiled.
What? Yeah. Don't worry about it. Quit being a wiener.
Yeah. Anyways, so Mads Mikkelsen, I can never say his name because it's
You said
so
it
weird.
right.
Okay. He supposedly is playing a scientist who is like the Oppenheimer of the Star Wars universe, where he perfects like the Death Star, whatever it is. There's like something that they can't get right. The Imperial scientists, or the Empire scientists, whatever. The
Imperial would be right.
Yeah. And he figures out how to get it to work, but then afterwards he feels regret, and his daughter, Felicity Jones, who is the main character of Rogue One.
She basically like leads that band of rebels.
He enlists her help somehow to steal the Death Star plans so that they can't go forwards with it.
Right.
We don't know how exactly this is all taking place.
And this is all just rumor. This could actually end up totally being wrong. Because if you remember, a lot of the rumors for Episode 7 ended up being totally wrong.
Yeah.
So,
but there were also a lot of rumors that were pretty close for Episode 7. So, I like this idea because it still keeps the story of like family. Like all throughout Star Wars, most of the story is about family.
Everything's about family, yeah.
But then it tells a story about a different family besides the Skywalkers, which
because that's for the episodes. The episodes are about the Skywalkers. That's why I think what I think.
Yeah, well, and that's the one that makes the most sense.
Yeah.
But anyways, but then it tells this interesting story because, I think there was just like one or two throwaway lines in the original trilogy about these rebels stole the Death Star plans and all this other stuff. So it's cool that we're getting this backstory, and this is their time to really take a chance and do a different style of movie than the straight up like episodes. Because I think even episode 8 and 9, I don't think it's going to go crazy. Like I think they're going to be more Star Wars movies, whereas I hope this can really be like a war movie or like a spy movie.
Yeah, because there's supposed to be no
whatever.
Jedis in this movie. But Darth Vader will probably be in it, which would be cool.
Say,
I mean, that's how you sell this movie, is you put Darth Vader in it, for sure.
But, so I'm really, like I said, this is the number one movie I'm excited for.
They could do whatever with the anthologies, and I'll be like, all right. They could really do anything with the Star Wars movies.
I really hope that the next anthology film is not about Han Solo.
It is,
but I don't scrap it.
Because I don't care. I don't want to go backwards with these. The only character I want to see something... I'd
love to see Obi-Wan.
I want to see an Obi-Wan anthology. Other than that, I want the anthologies to be like completely different. Maybe like an Old Republic anthology or this or that, where we've got all the Jedi and all the Sith.
Or between like episodes 5 and 6, showing like what it's like to be like maybe not a stormtrooper necessarily, but like that whole side of things. Like we don't really see the movies from the point of view of the villains, and it's like I would love to see that. Or something, whatever else.
I mean, there's books on that stuff.
Yeah, I guess it's true. Yeah.
I mean, I think an Obi-Wan movie could be the best, but like we don't need a young Han Solo.
Especially depending on what happens with episode 8 and 9, like seeing the backstory of Obi-Wan, who even though he's in the original trilogy, he's not in the movies very much, and
he's hanging out on Tatooine.
Yeah, but there's a lot of speculation that he is doing other things.
Yeah, I think that's all just people trying to come up with their own random ideas out of nothing.
But we do know from the Clone Wars that he did have multiple lovers.
Yeah, well, whatever.
So
I just want to see Obi-Wan versus Darth Maul. That's all I care about. It's the only reason I want an Obi-Wan movie. Because they've got to finish what they started in episode 1. You know?
Well, don't they in Clone Wars?
Never actually gets resolved. The show got canceled before it could get really resolved.
I thought they were up to like episode or like 7 seasons.
6.
Or something.
6 was on Netflix because Disney bought Lucas before 6 came out, so they pulled that off Cartoon Network because Cartoon Network owned by Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
So they put the 6th season on Netflix. When the 6th season isn't like as complete as the other ones, it's more of just like there were a lot of stories that didn't get to be finished.
Yeah. I'm reading Dark Disciple right now, which is compiled from episodes that were cut from the show right when it got
canceled. That stuff with like Asajj Ventress, right? Yeah. See, I know stuff about stuff.
Yeah. Anyways, we're just chit-chatting now, I suppose.
It doesn't matter. So that's the end of this week's stuff. Wow, I'm really bad at like doing the intros and outros this week. It's just straight trash. But next week we're doing a special episode. We're gonna have 2 guests on, so it's gonna be 4 of us, and we're gonna run through our top 10 movies of 2015. So that's movies that came out that were originally released in 2015, right? So I just saw The Revenant yesterday. That's gonna count for it, even though I saw it in 2016. It was originally released in 2015.
Yeah.
So that's just the rules. We're going to go around the circle, share our thoughts on the movies, why it's where it ranked for us. And it's going to be a good long episode. Might end up getting split into 2.
Yeah.
Just because
my guess is
who knows how long. It's going to be 4 of us, so who knows how long I could go for.
Yeah.
But it should be pretty fun. Check for that next week. Do you have anything else in mind?
If you guys are watching this on YouTube, make sure to find us on iTunes. You can search Fuzzy Loaf and you'll find us. That's an easy way to just subscribe and listen to us on the go if that's what you want. Leave us a comment and rating.
Yeah, rate and review. Tell us. Give us feedback.
The 2 episodes with
Let us know.
With Shane, or the episode that I split in half with Shane, are like the only ones that have ratings.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I was like,
cool.
Weird.
Maybe we should do more crazy, weird stuff like that.
That was fun.
Yeah. So, let us know stuff. Give us feedback on like crap so we can be better, because I'm awful today.
Yeah. And then as you can see, we've transitioned. This is now season 2, just so it's easier to
keep things
to follow along.
Yeah. I mean, seasons don't really matter because it's a weekly.
No, yeah, it's whatever.
Mostly weekly show. So, but yeah, it's easier because the first season we went through so many different changes of trying to figure out where we were going to go with it, that we went through like 7 different episode or show title changes.
Yeah.
So it's just easy to just be like, okay, this is 202.
Yeah.
That's all you have to remember. It's real simple. Yeah, I guess that's it. So we'll smell you later and tune in next week for our top. Oh, we forgot to say where we were on Twitter.
Oh.
God damn it. I almost had that last part too. And I'm Twitter, Instagram, everything at Scotty Boy, SCOTTYBWO4Ys.
Because 3 Ys were taken.
Okay.
Was taken.
And you're at
Hagnerd, HAGNERD. You can follow me everywhere there. And you can also follow us on Twitter at Fuzzy Loaf.
Yes. And now we'll smell you later and tune in next week for our top 10 movies of 2015. Goodbye. All right. Well, we should probably start this fucking thing.
Yep.
Okay. Welcome to the Fuzzy Loaf podcast, where let's just start over. That was really